Hi, welcome to J202 and the School of Journalism and Mass Communication. I'm Stacy Forster. I'm your J202 instructor. I won't see you in lecture this week, but your lead TA, Meredith Metzler, and I will be stopping by your first lab, so we're looking forward to meeting you there. But until we get together next week, I just wanted to start with a few lessons, the top 10 things I've learned about J202 from my former students. So hopefully this will help prepare you for the roller coaster of the 16 weeks that we have ahead of us. So first, make it more like 8 credits. The student is right. I wish we could make it 8 credits, but it's a 6-credit class that has a lot going on. Between lab and lecture, you will spend about 8 hours a week in class, a little less than that. And then there's a number of out-of-class assignments as well. And that's where number 2 comes in, which is the website is the best resource ever. And with all of the moving parts in this class, the one really important thing to know is that just about everything you need and the best way to be successful in this class is to get to know our website. It's 202.journalism.wisc.edu. Learn how to navigate that successfully, and things will go well for you here in the J School. So if you go here, you'll see there are some assignments. First of all, this blog post has some things that you'll want to do before lecture on Monday, January 23rd, but you can also find a link to the syllabus, our schedule, which I'll talk more about in a minute. The assignments you'll be able to find here on this tab. There'll be information about quizzes that we'll take each week. You'll find links to online training that we have you do out of class. You want to make sure to read about all the different pieces of the individual story assignment, which I'll talk about in a minute. Skip the final project for now. We won't need that till later. And then this admin tab has a lot of good resources for you as well. So really get to know that website and take some time to look at how it's organized. You know what to find and where. And if you're having trouble, let us know. If there's something you think we should add, let us know that too, because maybe other people are wondering. Number 3, definitely as many deadlines as my J-School friends said there would be. And yes, there are a lot of deadlines because of the many different types of assignments that we have. You know, some of you are coming in and wanting to be reporters. Some of you want to come in and do strategic communications. Some of you want to work in social media. So here, we try to give you a range of skills that you can pick up and apply no matter where you end up working in the field of media. And learning how to manage all of that is a skill in itself, which is why one of the reasons why we do that. And no matter where you work in media, deadlines are an important part of that kind of work, and that's one of the biggest lessons we have to teach you, and we will give you plenty of opportunities for that. So you will get specific deadlines for every assignment that you do, and I'm just going to go back to the schedule site page here so you can see how that looks. And if you'll see, it's a week-by-week spreadsheet that shows you what you're going to be doing, what needs to be turned in by the start of lecture, what you're going to be doing in each lab. There's a color code over here so you can see the different types of assignments. So if you get to know this well, and some of this will make more sense after you've been to lab, but once you get to know it, you'll be able to see how the different assignments line up, and looking for example, the IS story, everything there is light blue, and so you'll see all those different deadlines at different points. So take a look at this. You can really start to plot your semester by using this spreadsheet, and it'll help you understand what we have going forward in the coming weeks. Number 4, make grading less difficult. And this is one of the things we hear most from students, which is why I want to spend a few minutes up front addressing it, and why I'm asking you to read a sheet called Understanding Your Grade. That's one of the things you'll find on that list of things to do, because it explains to you the grading standard that we use, and it's going to look different than what you might have seen in other classes. So I'm going to explain it. The graph on the left shows you what a sliding scale would look like. And this is where here we would say, we know you're good writers, but we're asking you to write very differently than maybe you have before, and it's going to be hard at first. So we're going to set the bar pretty low at the beginning. And as you get better, we're going to keep raising that bar, and your grades would go up sort of that way. But the problem is that you feel better about your grade in the beginning, but you get frustrated later on because your grades aren't reflecting that your work is getting better. They may go up a little bit, but you're going to be you're not going to see the same kind of growth in your grades. The flip side is this consistent standard, which makes for much happier students, although it's not as easy at the beginning. But it shows what happens when we set the expectations high at the beginning, and then your work improves to meet that standard. Again, it's going to make you much happier about how you're progressing. You're going to see that improvement, and by the end, you're going to feel a lot better about how you've done. But like I said, the flip side is that in the beginning it's not so comfortable. Maybe you get a 70 or a 65. These are grades that you've never seen before on any kind of assignment. Or maybe it's even lower if you have some kind of fact error in your piece. And that's going to be jarring for you. I know I would feel that way. I am somebody who likes to get good grades, and I would definitely not be comfortable with that. You've done well to get accepted here, but you have to trust me that when you work hard, when you keep working at it, when you incorporate all the feedback that we'll be giving you and learn from the examples that we're sharing with you, your grades will improve. You will see them go up on this curve, and you'll be happy by the end of the semester. So work hard, take risks, show us that you're trying, and you'll see that upward trend in your grade. Also keep in mind, there are so many assignments in this class that one grade is not going to make or break your entire semester. We do keep grades updated on Learn at UW. That's just about the only thing we use it for. We also have you submit your assignments through Learn at UW. So you can always check there and see how your grade is going. If you have questions, go to your TA or come to me and we can talk more about it. But it's going to be kind of hard to judge until later in the semester, but you can keep tabs on your grade there. Number 5, professor, TAs, always willing to help. And this is really key to having J202 work. And here are our TAs. This was at our organizational meeting we had a little bit earlier. Your TA is going to mean a lot to you by the end of the semester. You're going to spend a lot of time in lab learning from your TA. And you're going to spend time with Meredith and me in ways that might surprise you for a class of this size. There are 105 of you, but by the end of the semester, we will have spent one-on-one time with just about all of you through office hours and other ways that we're going to have to connect with you. You have lots of ways to communicate with us. The new way is that we have a Snapchat. It's UWJ202, so find us there. There's a Facebook group linked to from the website. Join that. I'll post from time to time, but you might also use that as a resource. You might be needing a source for a story, and so you put it out there. Hey, does anybody know anyone on campus that's been busted, for drinking in a residence hall? Because that's what you're doing your story on. And so somebody says, oh yeah, my friend did, and I'll connect you with him or her. And so that's one way to use the Facebook group. If you're on Twitter, we have a Twitter hashtag, also J202. So start to follow us there. If you're not comfortable on social media, you don't want to communicate that way, that's fine. Let us know if there are other ways that we can try to connect with you. At some point this semester, I would love for you to come see me in office hours. My office is right next door to Robert Schwach, so it's really easy to find. I'll have special drop-in office hours at certain points in the semester. If you want to come, anytime, just let me know. Stop me on the street, send me an email. Please, please try to reach out to me. You don't always have to come to me with a problem. Just come and tell me, what you want to do with your life. I love learning about that. It's why I got into teaching in the first place, because I wanted to work with students and kind of help be part of getting you to where you want to be by the time you leave UW. So this is a hard course. There's a ton going on, and I can only help you succeed if I know what's happening with you, because the last thing I want is to read the course evaluations at the end of the semester and see that someone had just a horrible, miserable experience, and then know that not only will I not know who that was, there was nothing I could do to help that person. So please make sure to remember that I am here to help as well as your TA. Number 6, bonding with your lab rocks. So when you get to that first lab meeting, take a look around, because the other 14 people there are going to be your partners in J202 for the semester. By the end, you're going to look like this happy, smiling lab from a few years ago. You're going to form some really amazing relationships with these colleagues, with your TA, but you have to remember, it's not always going to be easy. That's part of the learning process too. Someday you'll be in an agency, you'll be in a newsroom, you'll be in a production booth with a bunch of people that are different from you, and you're going to have to figure out how to work with them. And so that's another lesson that we get from our labs here early on. Number 7, anhydrous ammonia. This phrase will make a whole lot more sense in a couple weeks. You might cringe by the end of the semester when you hear this, but This is a key part of a semester-long incident that we use as a framework for producing a ton of content. So breaking news, press releases, summaries of data. It all ties back to this fictional train crash that purportedly takes place in Stoughton, Wisconsin, which is outside of Madison. And so here's a picture someone posted to the JSchool hashtag JSchoolProblems. That's an old hashtag I would love to bring back. These assignments are our way, though, of showing you how the different components that we're teaching you can relate back to this one incident. And sometimes students get frustrated writing about this over and over again, but we do it because it actually makes things easier for you. You don't have to relearn a bunch of new facts every time, and that's going to help you when you're writing on deadline or producing something on deadline in class. You can really just focus on your writing. Number 8, IS story. And the student who wrote this followed up with, it is a super dynamic project. We have a work sample at the end, and we get real experience. And so the IS story, which stands for individual story, is a really fun highlight of the semester for most students. And so this is where you get to show us how you're taking what you're learning in lab and using it on your own. Every student will pick a topic that's interesting to them about something happening here at UW-Madison, and again, producing a range of content related to that story. You have a lot of leeway. We want you to pick something that you're interested in. And the structure of J202 is such that you come into lab, we teach you how to do something that I've talked about in lecture, you get some practice doing it through in-class assignments, and then we have you go out and do it on your own. So maybe I lecture on design on Monday, you produce something with a group related to the train crash in class, and then you do a magazine layout for your IS story. And we're going to talk more about this IS assignment in the first couple of weeks, but you're going to want to check out those resources on the website and start to think of something you want to take on. Here's an example of a site a student put together a few years ago about boxing coming back to the UW-Madison campus. And the last part of this class, which we do the last 4 weeks, is a final project that's really kind of the bright, shiny object out there. But you're going to work with your lab to create some kind of entrepreneurial product that you think there's a need for. Maybe it's a study abroad guide for students at UW-Madison, or a roommate matching service that's unlike any other out there. So you're going to come up with an idea and work together and create all the content and the marketing strategy for it. And after all the weeks that we spend down in the weeds on Stoughton and trains and your IS story, it's going to feel really freeing at the end to turn on that light bulb and put it all together in that final project. Number 9, this course pushes you to become a better writer. And the student who said this followed up with, I really liked that we had hard deadlines and assignments that mirrored what we would be doing outside of the classroom as journalists and PR people. And I love writing. It's one of my favorite things to do, and nothing would warm my heart more than to see you leave this class a completely different writer than you were when you started. We're going to teach you a bunch of different ways to deliver content to a variety of audiences and think about your audience and how to best communicate with them and present it differently depending on who you're writing for. And everything we do in this class has a purpose, and it all goes back to you becoming a better communicator. So think of it that way, and you'll be in good shape. Number 10, this course is a crazy amount of work, but it's worth it. And this is something we often hear at the end of the semester, and you're going to see by the end how your investment of time and energy and effort is going to be worth it. And I can't make you decide to put in that work and that effort. You're going to have to decide how hard you want to work. But if you do, and most students do because we are known in this J School for our work ethic, you're going to be so proud of what you've done by the end. And I'm going to be proud too. I always get very proud at the end of the semester when I see where you end up. One of the things that we ask you to do early on is to pick a piece of work, writing, video, photography that inspires you and write about it. So for me, one of the things right now is the Hamilton soundtrack. If you're a fan, you'll know one of the lyrics is, someday, yeah, you'll blow us all away. And I am confident that in 16 weeks, you'll be in this classroom where I'm recording this video, pitching your final project, and I'm going to be so proud of where you are. So we've got 16 weeks to do it. That someday is out there. I can't wait to see what you do. So let's get to it. I'll see you in class. Thanks.